Hello, welcome to, what do we call it? Just one more caffeinated row. My name is Daniela, known as Caffeinated Gert on the internet.
And I'm Dana, also known as Dana of Unwind.
How are you guys doing?
Hope good. Sorry, you can't see my thumb. Now you can. Hi!
It's weird. We have to kind of talk to ourselves so we can stay in.
Yeah, and I have to remember to go toward her with anything I want to show up. So
yeah,
this whole video thing's just new to me.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Well, the reason that we are here today together, Daniela was kind enough to offer to let us do 2 book reviews for Just One More Caffeinated Row. I had intended to do this on an episode of my podcast, which is audio, Just One More Row. In case you don't listen, you should definitely check us out.
Yes, you should.
But one of these books in particular needs to be seen in order for us to be able to explain to you why we think it's awesome. So. And Daniela's been awesome enough to actually start a little sample of the technique so that you guys can see what it looks like knitted up. That's not in the book. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But that's the second book we're going to do. And these books were kindly sent to me by Interweave F&W Media. So this is the first book we're going to do. It's called Fresh Knits, 3 Skeins or Less Knitted Accessories. And it is edited by Miss Tanis Gray, who you may know as Tanis, Tanis from Knit One. If you remember Knit One magazine, that was awesome back in the day. Yeah, she was the one that was in charge of that. And we're very sad that that magazine is gone because it was very awesome. But she's done Knitting Daily TV, and all these patterns we thought maybe might be good for Christmas knitting if you're still trying to find something to work on, because this is a brand new book, so very excited to get to talk about it.
Yeah, I was rather excited to get to look at the new books, and I'm glad Dana asked me to record with her to look at them and kind of review them.
Well, this book is pretty straightforward. This book is really made for people who do what I do and go to fiber festivals or the yarn shop and see something 1 skein or 2 skeins or 3 skeins or something really special, buy it and have no plan for it. So this is really perfect for that if you have a lot of those small lots that are all the same dye lot in your stash. So there are a lot of patterns in here, and we're just going to hit on our favorites. So be patient with us, and of course these will be linked in the Caffeinated Knitting show notes, so you guys can go look at them. We'll link directly to Interweave so you can buy the book, and we'll also link to the Ravelry page, so that way you can go and see the patterns on Ravelry as well. So
there's some really cute stuff.
Absolutely, there are some fun things. The first one that I want to talk about is one that I really like, and it's called the Annular Mitts, and these are 2 colors with, as you can see, lots of Latvian braids.
I think it's really pretty.
Yeah. So you've got all these Latvian braids going across, and you change your colors. So that's really fun. If you haven't tried Latvian braids before, you would get really good and familiar with them by the end of this pattern.
I know. I have tried them before. It's been a while, but not successfully.
Yeah.
So I would give it another shot just to, for something like this.
Absolutely.
I didn't realize until Dana explained that when you do the Latvian braid, it's only on the outside, because I thought, well, that'll feel weird on the inside.
It tilts forward toward the right side of the work, kind of like an I-cord bind-off would.
So that's good to know.
So they're really neat. So these would not be lumpy on the inside towards your hand, which is uncomfortable, and you wouldn't want that.
Right.
The one thing I will say about these is that if you can see up the middle of the hand, there's a jog. I think that alone would make me want to knit all of the stripes in the same color and just join the contrast for the braid. So like say knit them in red and have red and white braids going up.
I think that would be really pretty.
And that would minimize that jog. So it would be more, more cohesive.
And it would really make the braids pop.
It really would.
You could even knit the body of the mitt in a solid and then use 2 other colors for the braids. Wouldn't that
would be really pretty? Great use of scraps as well.
Yeah.
And this pattern calls for fingering weight, and it only uses a little bit, I believe, of both skeins of yarn. The braids will take up a little bit more of each color than if you were just going to knit flat. So you would just need to make sure you had that. But on here, it's 2 skeins of Spud and Chloe Fine, which is only 248 yards. So you could easily do this with 2 skeins of sock yarn, 250 grams.
Yeah, or a great way to use up some leftovers.
Absolutely.
I always love doing that.
The next pair is, the next thing actually is a pair of socks that Daniela wanted to talk about.
I like these.
Whoop, we're going the wrong way.
Sorry. I really like the cables on these. After doing Tour de Sock, I kind of feel like not so scared of doing cables. I find they're really intricate and they're just beautiful.
Yeah, they really
it'd be a great way to show off a skein of just special semi-solid yarn.
They're called the diverting socks. So, of course, they're done in sock yarn. So, it does have a normal heel gusset with a turn for the heel on the bottom.
It does, but let's see if there's a picture. Yeah, there is a picture of the back. Look at how they tied the back of the sock into the heel. I think that's fabulous. Absolutely. I love how the pattern goes
the continuity
goes down, and it's beautifully done.
It is, and they don't look that complicated.
No,
I feel like they'd be totally doable. So anyway, they're really lovely. So that might be a good option for someone. Let's see. My phone keeps turning itself off. Sorry, guys.
She's smart. She took notes.
I tend to do that when I'm going to review a book just because I know I'm not going to remember.
This is my first book review, so I'm a little...
It happens. The next one's also one of Daniela's favorites. This is called the Twigs Bolero.
Now, I love the stitch on this sweater.
But as you can see, it's really short.
It's really short. I would not make a cropped sweater. I would make that like a full-length sweater.
Yeah.
But the stitch on it is just beautiful.
It's a wrapped, like you knit a column and you wrap it occasionally with a yarn over in place. So it creates like columns of wrap stitches.
It's beautiful.
It is.
And I like the collar. I like the little...
big funnel neck.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, here's a really good picture of the back.
Yeah, that's much better.
So that's really nice.
It's beautiful.
Really fun. So, yeah, but I agree. I mean, if you're a woman of any kind of busies or hippies, you don't need anything short because it's going to cut you in half and sort of make your figure look a little funky.
Yeah, but the stitch it's just beautiful.
It is, and the yarn is really beautiful. It calls for Miss Babs Yowza,
which is awesome.
And for up to a 42.5-inch bust, it only uses 2 hanks.
Wow.
So that's less than $100.
Yeah. Of course, you'd need, if you're going to make an actual sweater.
Longer, you would need 3. You know, I like the crop sleeves, though.
I do like the sleeve length because I'm a fan of wearing a long sleeve t-shirt with things over it. So that would work great for me. It's just I would make the body a little longer.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. This next one is one that we both really like as well. It's called the Right Round Mitts, and I think I may use the second picture on this because it's a little clearer.
Aren't they pretty?
So these have, I believe, what looks almost like a diagonal lattice lace with traveling stitches. So, you know, they're done in fingering weight. So great for a skein of sock yarn, and they have beautiful, beautiful palms on them. The palms have the pattern continued.
I want to show you the way they did the thumb gusset because look, the thumb gusset, it goes right down into the pattern. I think that's brilliant.
I love integration with pattern stitches. I think that really shows a nice finished product. But they don't look that complicated. I think that they would probably be pretty easy to knock out. So. And, you know, they're a little bit past the wrist bone, but they're not really long. But I bet you could continue and knit them longer.
I bet you totally could.
Yeah, you could probably knit them way longer. You would just need to look at it to see how far it travels around, so you would know how much more to do.
Yeah, because
you want to be able to continue the thumb.
Yeah, the thumb starts at the cuff of the wrist and then goes all the way.
Actually, it goes like this and goes up into the thumb.
Yeah.
So that one is fun. Let's see. We both like the Jujubee hat. There's a good one at the back so you can see the patterning. And then here is
the front
on the side.
Now, I have to say that while I love the patterning in the hat, I don't like the picot on this.
Neither one of us are big Pico people. If you listen to my podcast, you know that I knit Pico. I did a Pico hem on the top of some socks I did for my mother just because they look like ruffles, and she used to shove me into ruffled socks when I was a kid, so I figured trying about fair play. But I would not knit a Pico edge. I just don't think that that's flattering on an adult, to be truthful.
But the pattern on the hat itself is beautiful.
It is, and it's probably hard for you guys to see on video, but it's got the decreases on the top almost look like a starfish.
Mm-hmm.
They like swirl up into the crown, and it's a 5-point decrease, so that's really neat. But it looks like it's a combination of lace and then knitting and purl blocks, so probably not that difficult. Calls for Alchemy Temple, so Alchemy Yarns of Transformation Temple, which is a sport weight yarn. So, there's lots of sport weight options out there. So,
I know someone that has some good stuff.
So, we like that one a lot. And then, Daniela was a big fan of these.
Yeah. I just thought these were some good, basic, make a great gift wristers. They have the nice little cable up the back. They're, they're just good, basic.
They look comfy. They're not tight. They would be nice for layering pieces. And I like wristers sometimes that are a little looser because you can fit thin leather gloves underneath them and then layer your gloves to make sure you don't have a gap.
Or even if you just get like the cheap.
The Target one.
The Target
99 cents.
Yeah.
I have like 20 pairs of those.
Yes,
with tags still on them because I'm like, when I wear a pair out, I just get another one out of the box.
Yeah. So I do that. So I will wear like the cheap knitted gloves, and then I'll put wristers over top of it, and it works wonderfully.
Good insulation for your forearms, especially if you have a jacket or a sweater with loose sleeves.
Yeah.
But those are called the Yorkshire Morning Mitts, and those are a DK weight. They call for that. They call for Rowan Pure Wool DK, but I'm sure you could probably find some DK in your stash to work those out of. The next one is, Daniela likes this one, but she's a lace person, so this is more in her wheelhouse than mine.
Well, I would never
find the better one.
I would never knit it out of lace because you all know I'm afraid of lace weight yarn.
We'll show 2 different pictures of this one because it's kind of hard to see.
But it's beautiful.
It's called the Carmilla shawl, as you can see on the page.
It's so pretty.
Lace weights.
Yeah. It would take a ton of fingering, but
it would. But y'all, look at this close up.
And look how beautiful that is.
Isn't it gorgeous? You could add beads to the centers of all these motifs. That would be super nice.
It's just stunning. It really is.
Or maybe one of those monster hanks of fingering weight that sometimes work their ways into our stash.
I may have just bought one of those at Fiber in the Borough.
Just saying. We both like the Ogavol socks.
Those are nice.
I keep going crooked. I'm sorry. It's just really hard because everything's in mirror.
It's hard. I like these because they would be good for a man or a woman. If you're knitting, but they're women's sizes.
They're 7.5-inch foot circumference, but that would be fairly easy. If you're going to knit them for a man, maybe knit them out of sport instead.
Yeah.
To make them a little longer.
If you're married to someone like me who has long, skinny feet, for Sam, I can
add an extra repeat.
Yeah, and they're a great pattern sock that will go either way.
And they're cuffed down, and the patterning does go all the way up to the top of the cuff. There is not really a ribbed section at the top of these. So if you have somebody that has larger calves, you really may want to think twice about these just because they may not stay up. They may slide down.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be based off Gothic architecture, and they do definitely have that bridge look to them. Here's another good picture of them from the back. Whoop, wrong way filming. There we go. So you guys can see that.
Nice.
So they do have a heel gusset with a heel flap. So that would be easy enough to fix. If you're not into that, which I'm not.
I'm not. I have a thing for the fish lip conceal. That's about all I want to do anymore.
I do short row garter stitch every time. All right, Tana's shawl. This one is just lovely. It's that picture's a little dark. This one's much better.
It's got beads. It's beautiful. It's just very, very.
Look at that spine. You can tell it's a Romy Hill pattern.
Uh-huh.
You can absolutely tell because she does those really unique spines on her shawls. But as you can see, it ties in the front. So it functions like a semicircular, but not with as much depth of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
So you can knit it with beads, you can knit it without beads. I'm sure it would work either way.
Oh, yeah.
And now we've skipped about half the patterns in this book, so you really may want to go on Ravelry or on the Interweave site and look through them because, you know, we're just trying to do this to save a little time.
Right. We're just picking out the highlights. Yeah, we're picking the ones that we just really like.
And these are some mittens. They're called the Laura, Lore, I guess, mittens. They're by Carol Sukalski, and they are shown in worsted weight. So they are really good for using that one super random skein of worsted weight that everybody seems to have hanging out in their house.
I love the stitch pattern in the body of the mitt on those.
They're linen stitch.
Yeah, and you know, you guys know I love myself some linen stitch. I do.
It's good that somebody does.
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to do it, and it's her. They do have patterning all over them, including on the palm. So if you're somebody who doesn't like grippy palms on your mittens, then these may not be for you. But they do have really beautiful texture.
Little post-it notes are everywhere.
Poor little post-it notes. You can see they have pretty texture to them all the way up.
Mm-hmm. They're beautiful.
So those are fun. There is a technique section in the back of this book that does explain some of the techniques that you may not be familiar with, like a crochet chain, provisional cast on, how to knit a Mobius. There's a Mobius cast on because there's a Mobius pattern in this book. And, you know, different types of increase because they, instead of calling them like make one left, make one right, they call them a lifted increase and a left slant. So they're a little different. That's a Kat Bordy thing. Yeah. She must be a Kat Bordy devotee. Mm. So anyway, there's a really good diagram on how to Kitchener if you forget how to Kitchener stitch because some people have trouble remembering it and have to look it up. So it's good when you have a good set of directions, and this is good. Yeah. But, you know, it's got short bios in the back of all the designers who have contributed. And anyway, so really great. Thank you so much to Interweave for sending us this one. As we said, this is 3 skeins or less, fresh knitted accessories, edited by Tanis Gray. This retails for $24.99 US, $27.99 Canada on the Interweave website. So we will have a link for that in the show notes. Okay, now this next one, since Daniela has actually knitted a little bit using this technique, I'll let her take the wheel on this.
Oh, so this is a brand new technique. This book is called Twig Stitch, and it is by Vicki Twig. She developed this brand new way of making reversible fabrics.
Absolutely.
It's really cool. Here, I'll show you my little swatch I started first.
Give you an idea of what it looks like in real life.
Yeah. Now, this is dishcloth cotton because when I do a swatch, I tend to do it in cotton, and that way I have a dishcloth later.
And the thing with this is, well, you can explain the end.
Well, if you screw up and don't twist your
if you don't twist the yarns
on the end,
on the rows,
you end
up with a hole. So you can make a soap pocket.
You could. Now, I started doing it correctly on further up a little bit, so no soap pocket for me. Well, unless I really squish it in there. Just skinny soap. But so there are a variety of different cast-ons in the book, and we'll show you that. But I just did a regular cast-on, which meant I cast on with red. So my green side actually has a little bit of red on the bottom from the cast-on. But then this is my other side, and it's all red. Mm-hmm. Now, it's double knit, so if you just,
it's thick.
It's thick. It feels
so this is going to be warmer than just straight stockinette wood or just straight ribbing wood.
Right. It's very, very smushy. Now, it's not like regular double knitting, though, because I've taken a class on double knitting and could not do it. And I actually learned how to do this from the book, and I have a ridiculously hard time learning anything from a book. I'm one of those people where I have to see it done. I'm all about finding it on YouTube and watching people do stitches.
And there are no YouTube videos for this technique yet. Now, if there's a demand, I'm sure that the designer probably would. But honestly, because this is a brand new book and it's a brand new technique, kind of proprietary, she may want to keep it just in the book for a while, just so that she can, make some money off of what she worked so hard on. So.
But and the diagrams and the explanation in the book
they're amazing.
They're so good that I was able to learn it from the book. So I was really nervous about trying. I've had the book for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I loaned it to you, Barbara in the Bar.
Yeah,
so it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, so she loaned it to me so I could, look at it, review it, see what I thought about it. And so for 2 weeks, I've been trying to get my gumption up to try the technique, and I finally tried it last night because I'm pathetic.
Well, we talked a little bit about diagrams, so I did want to show you guys, and I don't want to show you too fast, but as you can see, there's really, really clear pictures with explanations next to them on your basic stitch and how to do it.
And really just step by step, as in, put your needle here and pull your yarn through here
how
and
to hold your yarn
here.
In the right hand or both in the left hand, because this technique really wants you to have both yarns in one hand, not carry one yarn in each like you would for Fair Isle, which was part of why you had a little bit of a struggle.
Well, it actually gives you 3 different ways of doing it. It gives you instructions on how to hold it in both hands. My problem is that I don't know how to purl English style.
We could work on that,
I know. Because I taught myself how to knit English style for color work, but I can't. If I have to purl, I always hold my
I can't purl continental. Maybe we could help each other.
We could do that. So it shows for all 3 styles, which is awesome.
Well, and my favorite part about the book, honestly, more than anything else, is as you can see, here's cast-ons. It shows you each cast-on in your dark and in your light.
So
yarns.
Like one
side,
your
dark side and your light
and
side,
the other side,
because you want a serious contrast when you do this technique. So as you can see, here's another one: dark side, light side.
So for all the different cast-ons and
your bind-offs, your
there's
increases, your decreases, your twisted stitches.
Show this one because you can see
absolutely.
it,
This one is this is a twined cable cast-on. So as you can see
right here,
it looks like a Latvian braid.
Is that not awesome? So you'll see that this is what it looks like on the one side, and this is what it looks on the other side. So for me, I would make sure that it would look like this on the front of my work.
Absolutely.
Because that's beautiful.
And there is actually a Latvian braid cast on in here as well. There's also directions on how to do a tubular cast on. So if you like that, because I know that has gone back into vogue a little bit. So here's the light side and here's the dark side of a tubular cast on. So 2 color for that. And let's see. There's a Mobius cast on. And let's see. Different bind offs. This one shows pretty good. As you can see, this is a braided bind off, top and bottom. So when you view it from the top, it's going to look like it's been braided. So that. So as you can see, I would say probably almost 2/3 of this book is technique, specific technique.
Right.
Because it is meant for you to take this and take what you've learned from technique and run with it.
Right.
And possibly create your own designs out of it. Because, when you're pioneering something brand new, you want other people to be able to use it to design with as well. Right. So
I'm getting this book because it's the technique is amazing. It's fun. There's so many things you can learn from this book, and then really just go with it and design.
How to correct this is huge. There's a huge section on how to correct your mistakes.
How many books have you seen that in?
So you don't have to rip that out,
right?
Because it's a huge deal. You've got one for what happens if you drop a stitch. What if you accidentally yarn over? What if you make a purl bar showing in front of a knit stitch? Stitches worked in the wrong colors. How to drop down, fix, and pick back up. Stitches worked with both yarns together. Like if you're holding 2 strands together, you don't want that. And then no twist between adjacent stitches because you have to twist your yarns.
Which would be what I did here.
And that's why there's a hole.
That's why there's a hole. Because on this side, I didn't do that, and there's no hole.
So that is the beginning section. That is the first 47 pages of this book are basic how to do it. Now, then there's projects. And we do have a few favorite projects. I will say, I showed this to my husband before I loaned it to Daniela, and this right here.
That's beautiful.
Absolute favorite. It's 4 different colors of Malabrigo Arroyo.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't that lovely? It's called the Lakeshore Wrap. And it's a woven plaid look that's just created by using this basic stitch. This is the second pattern in the book. It's very, very easy because I think they're basically put in order of how difficult they are.
Yeah. Which is awesome because I think the one I want in it is last.
Now, this one I like. Daniela's not super huge fan, but I think different yarn choices might help.
Yeah.
So this is one side, and this is the other. Yeah, so as you can see, they're completely reversible. Everything in here is completely reversible. There is no wrong side.
Right.
So,
and that in itself is
huge.
Sweet.
Yeah. Here they are right next to each other to give us a good idea.
Yeah.
So that is really nice. I mean, this is really smart. I mean, this lady's really, really smart.
Crazy smart.
Yes. We really like that.
This one is
probably
so
my
beautiful.
favorite. It's called the Fan Shawl. Oh, we crazy.
There we go.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Could not see. And then you can see next to it, it reverses to a light aqua.
Right there. It's gorgeous.
And it sits so beautifully on her back.
Yeah, it does.
So that is really, really nice as well. It's a very interesting shape. Just beautiful. Really well done. Now, I will say the patterns are kind of long. They're very many pages. So if you purchase the book, I'm not sure if it's available in digital format yet, but if you purchase the book and you're not a copy maker type of person, you could probably scan these in and create a multi-page PDF so that you could take it with you and mark off pages if you don't want to take the whole book out of the house. I personally don't take whole books out of the house.
I don't either.
But you didn't seem to have any trouble because you started this, and once you got the hang of the first 2 or 3 rows, you were off and going. And you
I didn't take the book. Yeah,
so that was good stuff. This is Daniela's.
I want to make this hat
right here.
Yes,
and that's one side, and that's the other.
And both of the men loved it, so I would have to make like one for each of us because they just thought that was great. I love that it's reversible, and it's just so cool.
And I was telling her if you did it in flame colors, it would look like flame. Yeah. Their head,
like if you got a gradient.
Fast.
Can you imagine?
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
It really would. And here's one of them right next to each
other. And you can see this is the red's red and then
red diamonds.
Oh, this side. They're the gray, the reverse. It's so cool.
It really is. Really, really is. Now, the entire back third of the book from page 110 to page 165.
So basically
55 pages.
55 pages
is a stitch dictionary. And this is intended to help you decide if you want to try to make up your own scarf, your own shawl, your own hat, whatever you want to do. Once you get the technique down and you've tried one of her projects, let's try it on your own and design your own, which is great for designers.
Mm-hmm.
So, they've got your really basic. They've got your really basic stitches.
This is a mistake one. Aiden thought that was cool because it was a mistake stitch.
It looks like waffle. It looks like waffle weave.
It does.
So that's kind of neat. And then you get into your ribbing and your seed stitch and your mottled effects, which, this kind of has a herring varnish look to it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And then you get into your basket weaves.
Isn't that cool? I love the
Look at that. Yeah. Yes. Look at the chevrons. Isn't that fun?
Uh-huh.
And then there's cable patterns.
So if you do in the cable patterns, the opposite color pops out in the back, and it's, oh my God, I just love it.
And you can go subtle or you can go crazy with your color combination.
Because you could do something, like they're doing
black
here.
with a neon.
Yes, and have the neon pop through.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Traveling stitches and braided cables. I personally love this swatch right here that's under my hand.
Uh-huh.
See if I can get that straightened out there. There we go.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
This right here. It's very Celtic looking. I love Celtic cables. And then we've got just how to do ribbing, and this is a true herringbone. This is true herringbone over here on this side.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
I can see. I still do it.
Yeah. You've been doing this how long, Dawn?
Almost 3 years.
Honeycomb cables. Twisted lattice honeycomb. I mean, look how gorgeous this is.
It's
beautiful. So beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
And then
There's
you get
actual
into
chevrons.
Actual chevrons. Super fun. And let's see, some shells.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And then you get into your color work.
And I love this.
This is Daniela's jam. Oh, and that shows up so good on camera. Look at
it.
that. It's Argyle without the float.
I'm so going to play with that.
That would be so much fun to do like a hat in that.
Uh-huh.
It'd be really fun. And then, you know, you can actually use it for Fair Isle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, definitely worth a look. I will say there's fewer patterns in it that I really love than I expected. But I would love to, like, try it out on a hot pad. Like, since it's double thickness, it would make a really good hot pad for the kitchen just to try the stitch out. And that's basically what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little...
Just try it out. It's something new. It's something, you know, that's not been done before. You know, brioche you can do reversible, and some cable patterns are reversible. But this literally, the nature of it is that it's reversible, and that's really what I like so much.
Right.
So definitely check this out if you get the chance. Should be appearing in libraries and bookstores and your local yarn store pretty soon because this one shipped out. I got it about a month ago now, maybe a month and a half. So as we said, Twig Stitch by Vicki Twig. This one retails for $27.99 in the U.S., $31 in Canada. And it's available on Interweave, and we will link this as well in the show notes.
I'm doing show notes, guys.
And Allie will be back with you normally next time.
Yeah.
And I will have a regular episode of my podcast up probably tomorrow. So
I'm going to do my thing. Well, we're going to Sock Club to go play, and then I'll do my thing with this, and it'll go out either late tonight or sometime tomorrow.
Absolutely. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you've enjoyed this. And I appreciate my listeners that have come over, made the journey.
I appreciate you too. You guys are awesome. So, we've had a lot of hats for Hats for Kiddos from listeners that you sent our way. So thank you.
But anyway, so you guys definitely check these out, and if you don't get them at your local yarn store, make sure and request them because you know that definitely helps Interweave out and all that good stuff. So anyway,
all right, that's it. We will see you guys next time.
All right,
bye.